Good evening, I'm Pinky Webb. Tonight we ask the questions, we tackle the issues, we clarify matters, and we get on point. From flood control initiatives to farm-to-market roads and health centers, more questionable projects are being uncovered as the Senate steps up its scrutiny of the proposed 2026 budgets. Recently, the Chamber's Finance Committee flagged further red flags in the proposal of the DPWH. How does the panel plan to address these issues and finally break the cycle of corruption? Let's get on point with Senate Finance Committee Chairman, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian. Senator Gatchalian, welcome back to the show and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Pinky. Thank you for inviting me.
I want to start with the budget of the Office of the Ombudsman. Ombudsman Boying Remulla defended the budget of his office today, amounting to a little over 6 billion pesos. Were there any concerns, any problems that you faced when, or he had actually faced when defending his budget?
Well, Pinky, the Ombudsman will play a central role in putting people or making people or holding people to account and putting people in jail. They are going to be that central agency where all the cases will emanate from. So it's important that we equip them with the tools and the necessary resources so that they can carry out their responsibilities swiftly. People are growing impatient with the corruption issue, and the Ombudsman needs to do their work as fast as they can. So, and when I say that, meaning file cases and putting people in jail.
Did they make any promise? Did the Ombudsman make any promise to you when defending their budget on what needs to be done, what needs to be improved? Because as you said, that is the office that will hold these individuals accountable and time is of the essence.
Correct. Well, broadly, I think from a broader perspective, the new Ombudsman, Ombudsman Remulla, aims to reduce the lag time in terms of filing cases. I remember last year I asked the predecessor Ombudsman, how long does it take to file cases? He said about 2 to 3 years. And that's unacceptable at this time, or actually at any time. Because of the magnitude of the flood control, 2 years to wait 2 years to file a case is not feasible right now. So the new Ombudsman Remulla, said that they plan to shorten that time from 2 years to 60 days, and that means 2 months. And for the flood control in particular, they plan to file numerous cases after 30 days. They're now in the middle. They filed 5 cases actually, but they plan to file more cases in the next 30 days.
That's something that might be a bit of a concern, Senator. If his predecessor said that it usually takes about 2 to 3 years to file a case, and the new Ombudsman Boying Remulla, is looking at shortening that, or reducing that rather, to 60 days. Will there be any compromises here in terms of, number one, investigation and possibly even the people involved because of that time frame of 60 days or 2 months?
I think it's a matter of working style. The previous Ombudsman might have a different working style. Ombudsman Remulla probably have a much different working style. I don't think he will sacrifice the quality of his work, having seen how he worked in the Department of Justice. But on top of that, that's the reason why we asked, what can the Senate do in terms of cooperating and in terms of collaborating with the recent events right now? And the assistance that the Senate can extend is in the form of resources, meaning the budget. That's why we ask directly the new Ombudsman, do you need additional resources in order to hire more lawyers, in order to hire more assistants, digitalize your processes? And he said yes. He said they plan to improve the processes by using artificial intelligence in terms of analyzing the cases. They also plan to digitalize all the records. Right now, everything is paper, mano-mano. So they plan to digitalize it. So in short, he plans to they are going to seek additional funding in order to make
Okay.
themselves more efficient.
So madadagdagan po yung pinag-uusapan na a little over 6 billion pesos.
Yes, madadagdagan yan. Subject to the submission of the Ombudsman. They will send us an official request as to how much resources do they need, and of course the breakdown of those resources.
And in all likelihood, you're looking at possibly, of course, approving this because, as mentioned a while ago, Ombudsman Boying Remulla was saying they definitely need more people, and then, of course, shifting to digitalization.
Tama ka.
All right.
I think right now the most important is to equip them with tools and resources. If they can do their work fast without sacrificing quality and compromising compromising their work, then that is the best case, and that's what we want to happen as a country. For the Ombudsman to be effective and to work fast.
And Senator, who was present in today's budget hearing for the Office of the Ombudsman, apart from yourself?
Senator Lauren Negarda was also.
That's right. Does Senator Joel Villanueva normally join that as well? Is he part of that?
Well, the senators have an option. It's at their discretion to attend which agency, depending on their advocacy, depending on their interest. So it's up to them if they want to attend the hearings or not.
I'm sure you understand the reason I was asking that, because I knew that there was a hearing on the budget of the Office of the Ombudsman the day after that controversial statement made by Ombudsman Boying Remulla that he was going to send a letter to Senate President Tito Sotto to ask him to implement this 2016 ruling made by former Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales dismissing Senator Joel Villanueva. That's why I was wondering if Senator Joel Villanueva was actually even going to show up in that particular hearing, to which he did not. Question, sir. You were a senator in 2016, and this was supposed to be enforced in 2016. Just doing a little bit of research here, I understand that hindi po ito natuloy in simple terms because the Senate legal team looked into this order, and the Senate President that time was Tito Sotto, and then lahat ho ata kayo nagbotohan to adopt the legal team of the Senate and not adopt or dismiss the order of Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales. Would that be correct, sir?
Well, Pinky, that's water under the bridge. Both parties have already clarified their position. Ombudsman Remulla, as I understand it in his press release, that he does he now has information that the case has been dismissed.
Right.
And Senator Villanueva also clarified and made a clarificatory statement that the case has been truly dismissed. I think sometime in 2021, if my
2019, sir.
2019, if my memory serves me correctly. So in other words, bottom line is na-dismiss na yung case, and that's it.
It's to me, sir, personally, I don't think it's water under the bridge, because right now, Ombudsman Boying Remulla was basically saying it was a secret resolution or decision made by the former ombudsman. That's one. And number two, there's still questions on filing a motion for reconsideration, for example, that of Senator Joel Villanueva, if he actually was part of that prescriptive period by which you can actually file a motion for reconsideration. And possibly, sir, possibly lang po, there might be an investigation into this particular incident. That's why I was actually bringing this up. You also being a member of the Senate in 2016. Hence, my question is actually, meron ho kayang gray area dito? Kasi nga, even the Senate legal team was basically saying the ombudsman has no power to actually dismiss Senator Joel Villanueva at that time in 2016. Kaya kahit po ako, medyo nalilito about that.
Well, sa akin, Pinky, bottom line is there's already a dismissal at this point. And whatever the new ombudsman will take as a recourse, I really don't know what will happen, and I really don't know what his decision will be. But for me, after looking at the statements of Senator Joel, after all, I saw also a post on media, that it's very clear that the case has been dismissed already on MR. No? So in other words, wala nang kaso. No? And that's the bottom line.
All right, there's still a lot to talk about. Definitely, of course, the DPWH, and also I'd like to discuss the budget, their budget, SAL-ends, and the possible comeback of Senator Ping Lacson as Blue Ribbon Committee Chairman. We'll be taking a very short break. We'll continue our discussion with Senator Sherwin Gatchalian when we return. Stay tuned. This is On Point. Welcome back. Still with us, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian. Senator, let's talk about quickly your call to scrap the DPWH. Are you still calling to abolish that, the DPWH rather?
Well, it's a call out of frustration, and that frustration is not solely on me as well. No, the whole Filipino people is frustrated with how DPWH is executing their projects. If you have 421 ghost projects all over the country, that doesn't speak well about the agency. But I know for practical reasons, we need to build roads, we need to build schools, we need to build infrastructure, and creating a new department might take time.
And I think, Senator, what's really important is that whether the DPWH stays as DPWH or abolish it and rename it to another department. What's really important is, I guess, number one, the system that will be put in place so that we can stem corruption, so that corruption will end, and that matigil na po yung tinatawag nating insertions. So let me move to this, sir. You saw red flags again in the DPWH budget, amounting to about 271 million pesos, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, correct.
How did this happen, sir? I know I was looking at some of the projects. There were projects that are split into multiple phases. There were projects that actually appeared or reappeared in the 2026 NEP from the 2025 GAA. Was there any explanation to this, and what did you discover more?
Actually, there's no explanation. That's why we had to defer the budget of DPWH and ask them to come back on Monday so that they can justify all of these red flags and correct the red flags. Now, transparency doesn't start with the legislators or the politicians. It starts with the budget and starts with how the budget is crafted. So if the road is just generically typed in the budget, you don't know how long is the road, you don't know exactly where is the road, and that opens up room for corruption or even ghost projects. So that's why one of the red flags that is important is to completely identify, have markers or what they call station ID or station numbers in the budget, so that engineers, budget watchers will identify where's the project exactly and how long is the project. The other red flag that we saw is also a glaring red flag. Those red flags that projects that are in the 2025 budget reappeared in the 2026 budget. So meaning it was already complete and done in 2025. They constructed the project, but that the same project, exactly the same title, reappeared in 2026. The effect of that is we're giving discretion to the district engineers, meaning pwede nilang paglaruan yung budget because andun na yung project, but the same amount will come exactly for that project.
Didn't they have an excuse? Well, not an excuse. Let me choose a better word. A reply to that is that sometimes it's either phase 1 lang po yun, tapos may phase 2 at may phase 3. Kumbaga, let's say it's a 10-kilometer road, and then it's the same area, but it's actually divided into 3, which will probably be 3.33, 3.33, 3.33. Kaya pareho po yung presyo at pareho po yung location.
Okay. Well, two things, Pinky. We're also trying to avoid splitting. If you remember, there is a cut-off for district engineers to do projects that's 150 million and below.
Right.
150 million and above, it's the regional. 150 million and to, I think, 500 million is regional. 500 million and above it's central. So what we are seeing also, they're splitting the project. So that central and regional will not bid out the project. It will just remain at the district level.
Yeah.
That's one. Number two, granted that it's in phases, then identify the station number. So we will
Yeah.
exactly know where that road started, what is the middle portion of the road, what is the ending portion of the road. At least we can trace the entire road, even though they divided it into several phases or several portions.
Why is it something, Senator, something that is just being visible to all of you or
Common
even
sense.
all of us now? Bakit lang, matagal na ho ito nangyayari, pero, well, definitely, of course, we're going to start with the President mentioning this in his State of the Nation address and then coming up with a sumbong sa Pangulo. And then, of course, this garnered so much, got so much traction, ano? And the people are mad. Pero ibig ko sabihin, sa tagal-tagal ho kaya ng paggagawa ng budget, ba't natin napabayaan na maging ganun?
Naging lax na eh, Pinky. The system is there, but people are not implementing the system. In fact, remember during the DBCC, we flagged DBM. In their own circular, they said projects should be shovel ready, can be implemented right away. But how can you implement a project if there's no work program?
Yeah.
There's no detailed engineering, and even the gatekeeper of the budget is not scrutinizing the budget. They became too lax in terms of just accepting, hook, line, and sinker what DPWH is giving them. Imagine the gatekeeper of our budget became very complacent, and
Which is the executive.
which is the executive,
Yeah.
which is the DBM to be exact about it.
Yeah. Doon po talaga, babalik, it'll all go back to that because they're the ones that actually really submit the report to Congress. That's when it starts.
Correct.
That's the
They're the
national.
gatekeeper. In fact, they accept the budget. They also release the budget. So nothing goes out of the coffers of the government without DBM's approval. So if you're DBM, you have to make sure that the documents coming in are accurate and detailed before you can release the budget.
How big of a responsibility do you think or do you feel right now as Senate Finance Committee Chairman? Of course, in the Senate, it's almost like you're the point guy with regards to the budget. Of course, you have a counterpart in the House of Representatives. Are you doing extra work? I do understand from the many interviews I've had with you, sir, that you always do a lot of, you do your homework, definitely, sir. Pero ibig ko sabihin, is it such a challenge, especially now with all eyes are on the budget and there's so much consciousness on what should be done, what should not be done, dapat walang unprogrammed appropriations, and etc., sir?
Well, I'm quite blessed that we have senators who are also very knowledgeable of the budget process and very conscious of what's happening. I might be the chairman, but I don't make all the decisions. We're a collegial body. And I normally get advice and seek advice from experts like, for example, Senator Lacson, who's a budget hawk. He knows the budget from start to end and even the details. For example, several senators will also have their own advocacy. For example, Senator Pia, she knows the DOH budget. Senator J.V. Ercito knows the DOTR budget very well. So I get inputs from them.
Okay.
So it's a collegial effort. I just chair it, but it's really a collegial effort.
You need to watch it, I guess, like a hawk. As you mentioned a while ago, what will change in this year's budget so that the public has that feeling somehow or that comfort na yung pera po na ibinabayad po natin sa taxes ay mapupunta sa mga proyekto na dapat nilang puntahan at hindi sa bulsa ng mga korap?
Pinky, change has begun. And I mentioned before that we will usher the golden age of transparency. And with that, we started the Senate Budget Transparency Portal. And for the first time in history, actually, the GAB and all of its attachments, all of its annexes are now uploaded to the House of Representatives website. So you can now track down the changes from NEP to GAB. First time to, ah.
Yeah, yeah.
So people who are interested in the budget, especially mga district and provincial level, they can now exactly see
What changed?
what changed in the GAB, what Congress changed in the GAB. We will also upload the Senate version, which
Right.
is we call it the Senate version, and you can see now also what changes will happen in the Senate side until the BICAM na yan. So you can track down.
Opo.
So you can but the public can intervene anytime in the budget process and give us advice and suggestion.
But Senator, could there still be, meron ho pa ba talagang paraan to be able to insert?
Well, in insert and amendment, these are synonymous. No, there's no strict definition of insertion, and like what Senator Tito Soto said, SP Soto said, amendments and insertions are one and the same, and it's part of the budget process to amend / insert because it's one and the same. So, in other words, during the budget process, you will hear the departments requesting for additional resources or additional funds, and that's where amendments come in. But we have to be very, very mindful and careful, and at the same time coordinate with the executive on those amendments because we will prevent amendments that are uncoordinated, meaning magugulat na lang ng executive. And we will also prevent amendments that are unnecessary. No? So those are the rules that we will implement in the Committee on Finance.
Lastly, sir, of course there is talk that Senator Ping Lacson may make a comeback as chairman of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. Is this something that you support? Is this something you'd like to see? What are your thoughts about that?
But Pinky, if you backtrack this flood control mess, it was Senator Lacson who brought it up through his privileged speech. He brought up the modus of those unscrupulous individuals in government. He brought up the names. Importante yung names eh. That's the most important, the names. He even brought up the casino habits of these individuals. He even brought up how the documents were doctored so that those projects can flourish. So, in other words, he knows all of these things. Eh. And for me, since he has already investigated this issue, it's better for him to continue to be the chair because he can definitely drive the investigation faster because of his prior knowledge about this issue.
All right. But still, we need to hear from Senator Ping himself kung confirmed na po ito. And of course, just as on the last note, I know that you already also shared, hindi ho ba, your statement of assets, liabilities, and net worth.
Yes.
You are worth, is this correct, sir, 89 million pesos with no liabilities?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Pinky.
That's On Point. Join us again Monday, 7:30 p.m. here on BNC, the Billionario News Channel. I'm Pinky Webb. Thank you for watching.